Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series. In the last episode, we mostly spent the video driving through the countryside. We're still on the lookout for science labs. We really can't progress any further in the game until we find some of the stuff that really only appears in the science labs. We did come across a couple of NPCs hanging out in a field. They were marked as Thug and Bandit, so we knew that they would be hostile and aggressive, so we dealt with them pretty easily. Neither of them had a gun, and so they were very easy to pick off. After that, we continued exploring, and honestly, we still have not found anything that we are interested in. It's been just a huge disappointment, to be perfectly honest, and that's sort of where we're going to pick back up. So everyone, welcome back to my series. Let's have a look at the map here. That's right, we found yet another light industry location, and we're going to continue driving. I really feel like we're at a position in the game where we have everything that we need. We have basically all the tools that we need and want for the moment, and what we need to find is a science lab, because we need an autoclave, we need to find CBMs, we need to find mutagen, so that we can continue evolving our character over time. A few episodes ago I said, why don't we settle into a new town? I don't see a huge reason to do that, because all of the loot that we're going to find, we probably already have the majority of those things anyway. So we can meander in the general direction of a town, but I think we're better off continuing to look for science labs. So I hope everyone is okay with us driving around. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get ourselves a question nice and early in this video, because the last video I aired out some family grievances that I'm having, and I know that that is not really something that people are interested in hearing. Again, just have been having a rough time over the last couple of weeks, and it's been reflected, I think, in the content. So we're going to work this time to have something coherent to talk about, so we can actually, hopefully be entertaining and whatnot. Let's have a look at this limo here, see if there's anything we might want to grab out of it. I highly doubt it. Oh, we did check it previously. I remember, because we found wine, and I commented on wine. Okay, well, we're going to hit the road here. Let's get ourselves a question nice and early. Click, scroll, click. How did you meet your partner? Well, I don't have a partner. And I have not had a partner for a while. I mean, I guess we could still, it doesn't matter that I don't have one currently. I can talk about ex-girlfriends, I suppose. That'd be something to talk about at least. Yeah, I don't have a partner. I am primarily a straight guy, sexuality is a spectrum. So, I don't believe anyone is like fully one thing or the other, or very few people, I should say, would be fully one thing or the other. So, but the majority of my interest lies in women, like almost exclusively interested in women. So, historically, I've only really dated women. And, I had a lady friend a few years ago. I haven't really been dating since then. As time passes, I start to wonder if it's so hard to define what I am or how I feel about things. So like sometimes when I think about being with another person, I'm into it, and I'm like, man, I really wish I had like a companion, someone I could like go to the movies with or eat dinner with. Or sit on the couch with, that sort of thing. We see something here called a bone plate wolf, which I've never seen before. I'm assuming it's just an upgraded skeletal dog. A four-legged creature covered in fused bony plates, shaped somewhat like a dog or wolf. Joints and cracks around its body ooze with black goo. I keep saying glue when I mean to say goo. So it looks like an upgraded skeletal dog, but it's color-coded white, so it's probably not terribly dangerous. Sounds like my neighbor's dog is out barking for no reason, so we'll have to deal with my puppers being angry. I suppose I should stop until they calm down. Okay, well, it's been several minutes and they have not stopped, so we're just gonna plow forward here with the video. Sorry about that. It's just more issues with the neighbors next door. Anyway, what was I talking? It's been several minutes. I have no idea what I was. I like so like sometimes I miss companionship. And like when I think about romance, when I think about it, usually what I think about is like, sitting on a couch holding hands. Like I'm so, you're gonna make fun of me. People always do. I'm like a super clean kind of guy, like Boy Scout type of dude. Like I don't, People have so I'm in this Discord for a horror podcast. I've talked about this before. It's my favorite podcast because the majority of podcasts are just so terrible that they're completely unlistenable to. You can't listen to them because they're so bad. Especially about movies, people tend to be really pretentious. It's always like, oh, I'm a film major and my life didn't amount the way I wanted it to, so now I just critique movies constantly on my podcast. And it's like, those things are fine on their own, but like, you know, people come across so pretentious, like they're so full of themselves. So there's only one podcast I really like, two sometimes, you know, and so I joined the Discord for this. Why am I in minimal pain all of a sudden? I just went from no pain to minimal pain, and I see some NPCs as well. Why am I in pain? I'm cold. Is it due to my being cold? Which is also confusing. It's like 5 a.m. in early summer. You would expect this to not be quite as cold as it is. And we're in an enclosed vehicle. It's not like I'm driving. Oh, I do have the doors open. I suppose that may have an impact. I was gonna say it's not like I have my broken windshield, so the wind is hitting me in the face. Where are these humans at? Where are my humans at? So more bandits, they are attacking. Again, bandits, very dangerous because they can have guns. So what do you got here? I don't see a gun. I don't see a gun on you either. So I talked about this in a previous episode about how I think that when you drive rural locations, it really reveals how Cataclysm doesn't make a lot of sense, just in the way things generate. So there just aren't that many humans left on the planet after the Cataclysm, and the percentage of them that are hostile NPCs is just too high. You know, you see this a lot in movies and TV shows. It seems like whenever something bad happens, all of a sudden everyone becomes like a murder rapist, and that's just not how it would be. Just like percentage wise, the number of people who would use violence to basically to murder you for your supplies, it's just not that many people. And it just doesn't really make sense to me. So we see these bandits a lot, and there's a good chance that if we drive a little further north, we will see that there's a tree downed in the road that they put down to barricade. So I don't know if they have guns. They're not approaching me despite it saying that they are attacking. So I'm gonna pop up a little ways so that they're in our headlights, kind of. Gonna pop out. Yes, I see the survivors. Let's go ahead and get our gun out. If they have guns, we could be in a lot of trouble, but we're gonna just work on the principle that we can probably outrange them. And we can use the car for cover as necessary. Okay, so they are now engaging much more aggressively. Again, they don't seem to have guns, or they would probably have fired by now. You're not moving anymore. It's possible they're applying a bandage, or they could be taking aim at us as well. I really don't know. Oh good, my neighbor's gonna mow as well, sounds like. It's off to a great start here. And he does seem pretty armored because they're not taking... That first hit only dealt 1 damage, which is a bit odd. Oh, it's not his lawnmower. He's gonna idle his motorcycle as he's prone to do. Because if there's one thing I know about motorcycles, you really gotta let them idle for some reason. All right. So that's 1 down. What about you? What's your name? What is your name, sir and or madam? Joette Ferris. Bandit. Well, this will teach you for... Yeah, and 2, I really wish when you killed an NPC, the other person would be like, oh god, he has a gun, I don't have a gun, and then they would just run away. There's really no reason for you to just blindly try to attack me after I've clearly pulled a gun and murdered one of your compatriots. So it's like, what are you even doing? What are you doing with your life? Alright, so Bandit's dead. We did have a malfunction of our M4. Another thing I kind of have an issue with, I've had I think 3 malfunctions in this series so far, but we've always had the gun in perfect condition. It's fully healed and there's no black powder buildup, so I'm not 100% on what is causing the malfunctions. We're using standard manufacturer ammunition. It's not like we reloaded our own ammunition, and we probably only shot maybe like 120 rounds, so having 3 malfunctions in that span of time is way too high. So let's reload our magazine here, or reload a new magazine into the gun, grab our spear, and check the corpses. Probably nothing I want though, unfortunately. That's the other thing. It kind of bothers me that the survivors never have good stuff. Have you noticed that? If they don't have a gun, they don't have good stuff. So I see some armored fingerless gloves. I have no idea why I would ever need armored fingerless gloves. It just seems like a weird... I mean, they're fully healed. Should we just wear them? Our hands are cold. Let's just wear them. I definitely don't need them, and we will just throw them away as soon as I don't feel like I need them anymore. Again, it's marked as stealing. So it's possible that when I kill one, because we saw this with the previous batch of NPCs as well, it's possible when I kill the first one, the second one claims that as their gear, and so trying to take it would be stealing. But that's dumb when they're already hostile, so I don't really know what that's about. Again, just garbage, but they do have another pair of fingerless armored gloves. I guess we'll pulp you so you never pester anyone again. Let's pop up, see if they downed a tree. Spiked boards. Yeah, so this is just really frustrating because there's nothing I can do about this. I can't drive my vehicle over this because I presumably will deal damage to my tires. And I don't have a trapping skill, so I just literally can't go down this road. Unless I can smash the traps. You hear thump, you don't seem to be damaging the patient. No, I mean, can you fail disarming a spiked board? It's just you picking it up, right? You disarm the trap. Yes, you disarm the trap. Okay, so it doesn't look like this is failable, which is good news, because I really thought this would completely lock me out of driving down this road, which would have been extremely frustrating. Let's take these all down. I'm assuming I'm getting a very tiny amount of devices experience by doing this. Nope, none whatsoever. Well, it kind of makes sense. It's just a spiky board. So what would you know, it's not exactly going to train your skill. So let's haul this out of here and hope that these are the only ones here and I'm not missing any, because that would be not great. And we'll go back and we'll drive down the road. Anyway, I'm in this horror podcast Discord, and they are basically everything that people post. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, you know, you're going to think like, oh, he's exaggerating. It's not as bad as he says. But the reality is, when I go into that Discord, literally 100% of the time now, when I click that Discord, the first thing I see is someone has posted a picture of an adult toy, or has a meme that has some very sexual language in it, or is just a really gross picture of someone that appears to be doing something very intimate. Okay? And on the one hand, I am fine with if these are not zombie cows, we will stop and harvest them. But if they're zombie cows, we're gonna run, because zombie cows are pretty tanky, especially the bulls. So it looks like the cows are alive. There don't seem to be any zombies nearby, so we probably will harvest at least a cow for meat. We'll do that on our way back. And listen, I have nothing against NSFW, you know, not safe for work content. You can be in Discords that are for that purpose. The problem I have is that I joined this because I like a podcast that is centered around horror movies. Okay? I don't understand why the owner of the server or the moderators let people post all this not safe for work stuff right in the middle of general chat in front of everybody. You know, any kid could come in after listening to the podcast and join, and all of a sudden they're seeing a bunch of really sexual stuff. That bothers me. It also bothers me because I don't partake in those things. So like, I am not a part of any not safe for work Discords. I don't involve myself with you know, I don't want to get demonetized by YouTube. I don't want YouTube to have an issue with this. So like, I don't watch adult films or look at those kind of images, you know. And I know that that's not normal. I know that most people do, and most people, you know, do those things frequently, it seems like, based on my communications with others. We're going to turn around because there's a lethal turret, and we're going to put the vehicle between us and it. So we're going to turn in that direction. And we're not going to go over there. It's another military helipad. I wouldn't mind exploring it, or at least killing a turret for ammunition, but we're not going to do that. It's daylight. We would have to sit here all day and wait for nighttime, and even then, I don't know that location enough to know where I'm safe and where I'm not. But anyway, it just doesn't make sense to me that everyone is focused on not safe for work stuff at all times. I think it's kind of gross, and frankly, I find it kind of pathetic when people can't communicate in like a normal way. It's like I go in that Discord and it's literally people being horny 24/7. And I'm like, I just want to talk about movies and like have a nice conversation with someone else who is fond of the films that I like. And instead I get confronted with very, very graphic sexual things. And I find that gross that you can't even, and I've said something about it because I'll be talking to someone about a movie and then someone will post something really graphically dirty. And I'll say, hey, you know, I'm just trying to have a conversation here about a movie. I really don't want to see, you know, it's a horror podcast Discord. I really don't want to see that. I'm not here for that. I don't want that in front of me. Can you just not do that? And then there are responses like, well, we do this all the time. And it's like, that's great. That's not really, that doesn't mean anything. Just because you do something all the time doesn't make it acceptable. It really bothers me that the owners haven't said anything. But anyway, I know I'm a prude, okay? I know people are going to say that. But anyway, this is a long way of saying, when I think about relationships, I don't think about that side of it, the intimate side of it. When I miss having a relationship, I miss having a long phone conversation or a long chat online or sitting on a couch and holding hands or, you know, driving somewhere together, that kind of stuff, which I know, you know, people always tell me like, you're such a prude, you're such a whatever, but I like it. I like that I'm this way. You know, I used to be, when I was a teenager, very obsessed with conquest, you know, and I think that that's gross. And now I see people all the time who are always hitting on other people or sending them unsolicited genital pictures, things like that. And it just is gross to me. So like, when I think about a relationship, I'm very focused on the actual connection side of it, way less about the physical intimacy. And as I've gotten older, I've started to wonder if maybe that's not something I'm interested in at all. Like, I don't know that if I met a nice woman, I don't know that I even would necessarily want to be intimate with that person. So that's part of the reason why I don't really seek out relationships, because I think that it would be hard for someone to I mean, we're never going to come back. I was going to mark this as meat, but we're never coming back. So maybe we should butcher another one just to get that last bit of meat in our freezer, even though we're going to leave a bunch of it behind, I think. So we'll butcher another one since we're here. I mean, what else? They're just going to go about their business anyway. Let's butcher this cow. And it's funny, the quick butcher for a cow gives significantly like triple, quadruple, five-tuple the meat that the bear did. So I know cows are big animals, but this is a dairy farm. It's not even that type of cow. Like if it were a what's the word for a ranch, I guess is where you would harvest them for meat, and a dairy farm is specifically for dairy. They're different cows, so like it's not even the super bulky you know, cows that you raise for meat. I mean, not that they can't be used for meat, but like, oh, it's just a bit peculiar. I would have thought the bear would have given more than it did, although I don't expect it to be, you know, like a crazy amount. It is a bear, which is you know, I don't know. But anyway, long story short, I don't know how I feel about relationships. I don't know that I want more relationships. And last time I had a relationship, so the question originally was, how did I meet my partner, which I have not talked about at all in the last, you know, 15 minutes. But the last person I dated was a woman that we met, you know, I was probably so she was like 3 years younger than me, So I met her, I was dating my high school girlfriend. It was like my first serious relationship when I was in high school. I met this woman, well, she was a girl then. I met this girl, she was probably like 15, I was probably about 18. And then she was one of my girlfriend's friends because basically her mom worked at the school. So my girlfriend knew her mom, and then her mom had tried to make them be friends even though they were different ages and stuff. But anyway, so I was dating a girl in high school who was my like major high school girlfriend, and I met her at a pool, I think, for the first time. She bumped into her, and then she went on to date one of my younger friends when I was in high school. So I was dating my girlfriend and we dated for years, and then this other girl dated one of my younger male friends and they dated for a few years, and then we just kind of were friendly in adulthood. Like, we talked a little bit as adults, and as you grow up and become normal people. And she was in school and then in the military, and I dealt with my legal issues and stuff. And then when I came home, she had contacted me and was like, just kind of to check in and see, I think just out of a morbid curiosity, see if I survived and how I was doing when I came home. And I don't know, we just got to talking. At the time, at that point, I was probably like 25. She was like 22, 23, something like that. And she and I ended up, there's a zombie in my car, and I don't have my headphones on, I just realized, because I went to deal with the dogs. This is a batwing zombie. I don't know how tough you are, but we really don't have an option but to fight you in melee because you're in my vehicle. I really got to remember to close these dang doors when I drive around, especially before I head into populated zombie clusters or into town or whatever. So I think what we'll do is we're going to swing up to this town, and we're going to make our way through it if we're able, but we're also going to just scope it out, see if there's any buildings of interest, which there probably are not, because every town is 90% residential, seems like. And then we're going to head up through town and check some of these other spokes, and just kind of continue meandering through the area, because I really don't see a reason to stay in one location anymore. So we're just going to explore. Anyway, she reached out, just to kind of say hey and see what's going on. We ended up talking for a while, and then we started to kind of see each other in a more... You hear an explosion. What just happened? Oh, this is not where I want to go. I'm going the wrong way. What just happened? An explosion? Pupating zombie bursts and gore-smeared winged beasts climb out of its corpse. Failed to place monster. I'm assuming that's a debug message. The pupating zombie shoots the pupating zombie. The pupating zombie dies. Well, that's fun. So the pupating zombies give flesh raptors, which is basically just human hands that are on wings. They're very fast, very annoying. Last I checked, they have an impale attack that knocks you to the ground, which is the main reason that they're dangerous. So we definitely don't want to mess with that, but I was going the wrong direction anyway, so we're just going to drive away. Anyway, we talked for a bit. We ended up kind of falling into a relationship. Found out later that she had basically not been faithful the whole time. And it was, not great. And she wasn't still dating my friend or anything. That was way back in high school. And then, once I graduated, he was in school 2 years after me still. So they dated up until I think he graduated. Then she kind of disappeared for a while. And then, like I said, she resurfaced when I kind of, 4 more bandits. So this is really just hammering home my point. Basically, of the last, we've seen, how many NPCs have we seen in this playthrough? Like 10, I think. And 8 of them were bandits and thugs. And that's what I mean. It just doesn't really make sense from a realistic perspective. You're telling me that 80% of surviving humans are hostile and willing to kill you for your stuff? That's just not realistic, in my opinion. And like I said, I know movies and stuff, they always make it that way, where it's like, as soon as things go bad, everyone's killing each other, but that's just not human nature. So this guy does have a gun, and presumably this is a little base of theirs, so we are not going to mess with them. And in fact, I think we'll swing south. You know what? We'll swing north and come across, because coming south, they could still possibly pop off some rounds at us as we go by. So we're going to slow it down. We're going to swing this bad boy around, and we're going to leave. So just really kind of annoyed that the last 8 humans we interacted with were all murdery. So I just don't feel that that's a realistic ratio. And like I said, they just are way too common, in my opinion. So that's disappointing. Because like 2, we've been driving around. I would not hate if we came across a NPC that we could recruit, you know, and have a friendly person. But everyone we've seen has been hostile and a bandit, and so it's just not able to draw a companion from that, you know. Which is fine. I don't need a companion. It's more about the principle of the thing. But anyway, feeling a little hoarse all of a sudden. Feel like my voice is crackly. Another upgraded solar vehicle, but it had some grim howlers nearby. That's a regular deer. I saw a grim howler here somewhere. Let's our gun is pretty well stocked ammunition wise. Let's stop here, because again, upgraded solar panels, very, very valuable. Pop out, grab our gun. That's a stethoscope. Don't wield the stethoscope. Grab my gun. We do see grim howlers, 2 of them. So these are the zombie wolves. They are very fast, but are not generally very strong. So I think we'll be okay. Although I'm now seeing enemies in the woods as well. Oh, they're rats. Not great. Rats are hard to hit, which is a point of frustration. Deal with the dogs, though. They can deal much more damage. Look like we just grazed them, unfortunately. And I don't really trust it to bleed to death before it hits me, so we're just going to spend the ammo. And it looks like killing one caused it to hesitate but not run away. Or maybe it just took a weird step or something. Let's chill for a bit and see if any enemies come out of the woodwork at the reaction of the gunshots. Which they don't seem to, so let's pulp these corpses. And I would like to not stay here longer than I need to. Grab our spear. Actually, keep the gun out for now. But let's move that spear so it's not on the line like that. I would like it to be more visible so I see it when I come back to my car. And let's see if we can strip some of these panels really quickly and get out of here. Mechanic support takes 24 minutes. Ignore the rats until they come and become a serious issue. We'll just take the ones that are really nicely repaired, I think. What was I talking about? Yeah, oh, they dated through high school, and then they broke up, I think, when they I think she cheated on him when she was in high school, when they were still in high school, I think she cheated on him with some boy that I love him, something. I don't remember. I just remember they went on bad terms, was kind of how they ended things. And, yeah, I don't know. And then, you know, years later, we connected and we're talking and things. And I didn't really have anyone else in my life, so I don't know. I probably was a little desperate for human contact and whatnot. And it just sort of evolved and then kind of crashed at the end. This is the girlfriend that, well, you know, it's real dark and sad, actually. We didn't end on good terms either, because, again, just infidelity and some things that she said that were really, really horrible things to say to a person. I think she was just trying to end it, so she was trying to be cruel intentionally to kind of, you know, end the relationship, because we had kind of been rocky off and on, and then I found out about the cheating and just was not a fun experience. And she was, I think, starting to get frustrated that I had expectations, like, hey, if we're gonna be in a relationship, you know, there are things that I expect to be able to, like, talk to you. I expect to be able to have a dialogue. I expect you to be willing to work on things. You can't just say, no, this is how it is. And so it was kind of a, just I think she was just over it, basically. So whatever. That was my last relationship. Not super significant or fun or anything like that, but it was fine. It was fine. Sure. I guess it was fine. Let's grab our M4, pop back in the vehicle, close the doors this time, because we're going to be heading into a town. What is this? Fishing pond. Super relevant. And of course we see a park, because it would not be a town in Cataclysm if it didn't have a park right at the mouth of it. So sick of this. I think we're actually going to call the episode here, and when we come back we'll tackle driving through the town, because it's a little bit delicate and I'm pretty bad at driving. So I think we'll put that off as long as possible. So I think that's it for this one, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll be back with more Cataclysm content in the near future, and I'll see you next time.